We all know just how important strike is to play good golf. Now, if you're looking to improve that part of your game and elevate your strike, I'm going to give you a pretty simple, easy to follow 4-stage process that you can do in practice, which is going to do just that. And we are specifically in this video looking at your iron clubs. I've got a 7-iron for this video. So let's start off with phase number 1, which is really just understanding the difference between where you might set up and where you might be at impact. So I'm just going to take my address to this 7-iron. I've obviously moved the ball out of the way. And if I move the club towards a target, the sole of the club leaves the ground straight away. So job number 1 is to find where your impact should be. I'm going to keep my head really still. I'm going to take my hips and my legs, I'm going to move them towards the target. I'm going to add a little bit of rotation and I'm going to let the handle move forward of where it started. This would be my impact. Now if I tried to move the club towards the target, the ground gets in the way. And that's a really key message here. So your setup, there is no resistance from the ground. Impact, we would start to feel that resistance from the ground. And I should be able to put some bend in the club shaft with my index finger and the knuckle on my trail hand. That's applying the pressure. This is me sensing impact. Now, if I was to drag the club along the ground, I should be able to make contact with the ground pretty much until the middle of my foot, and then it's going to leave the ground. So phase number 1 is just understand that. What is the difference between setup and impact? And for many golfers, even that's a light bulb moment because it feels incredibly different. There's my setup, find impact, club scrapes along the ground and leaves when it gets to about the middle of my lead foot. That's our first phase. Moving on to phase 2 is actually just start to hit some shots from that new impact position. Get a sense and a feel of what it's like. Now these balls are going to go very, very short distance. They're going to go very low. So I'm going to go set up, find my impact, weight forward, hands forward, a little bit of rotation, and I'm going to make a little backswing and pitch the ball out there. Now, because I'm making a little backswing and I'm sort of starting from that impact position, it's going to be much easier for me to get back there. So I'm starting to get a sense of what it's like to strike the ball from that perfect impact. And even though that ball went 20 or 30 yards, I can still tell that was a pretty middle strike, lots of compression. That's our phase 2. Phase 3, I call connecting the dots. That time we set up an impact and we return there. This time you're going to take your normal address, you're going to make a little backswing, but now you're going to learn how to move into impact. This is when that previous phase becomes incredibly important, because in that previous phase we're really starting to feel and sense what impact is like. So now we've got a pretty good idea when we complete our backswing as to where we need to get to at impact. So phase 3 is, can you take a starting position and move through to a solid impact. Pretty good. Again, ball flight is really low, it's quite short, it's a little further than the previous one, but I'm starting to now land the club where I need to. You can see there's a small divot there to suggest that the club's landed target side of the ball. So that time, we started normal, we moved to impact. The final stage, stage number 4, is just to do that, but work your way up to full speed. So on this one, I'm going to be going pretty much at my full speed with my 7-iron, which is pretty much the club I would use for this par 3. We should be able to move into a perfect impact. And again, divot is target side of the ball. Shows where I've landed the club. Strike was good. That suggests that my impact was pretty good. So if you're looking to work on your impact, it's difficult to do it at full speed. Swing is over in just over a second. You've often got 70, 80, 90 miles an hour speed. So try that sequence. Start at setup. Learn what the impact is like. Learn to hit shots from there. Learn to connect setup to impact, and then learn to add the speed. If you can do that, I'd almost guarantee that you're going to find the center of those irons more often.